So I went away to do something. And when I came back, it said, "We've lost your connection." And I'm looking at the thing, and it's 9:59 and a half. And I said, "Of course you have. Of course you've lost the connection." So I refreshed, crossing all my fingers and toes, and look, here we are. Here we are. Okay, so first thing, coffee. Good morning, everybody. Uh, okay, huge apology for Shoes Day. I'm so sorry that at the last minute I came on and said, "Hey, so I'm only going to be here for like 5 seconds." Zoop, and I was gone. And the reason I was gone um, there's no excuse. Like the show is the show is the show. So here's the excuse. So I had these two friends. I had several friends in high school when we were stationed in Europe, of course, because it's busy. Good morning, Freddie. I, however, had two friends who had the ability to get into all the trouble I could handle with me. And we have stories that we have sworn, blood oaths never to share because they're just so awesome. But when we get together, we laugh and laugh and laugh. Anyway, I haven't seen either one of them in a very long time. Decades. And all of a sudden, um, yesterday morning at 7 a.m., there's this little ping on my phone, and I looked at it, and she said, "So I'm in town." One of them, "I'm in town. What are you doing?" "What am I doing?" I'm getting into the shower, and I said, "Nothing. I'm doing nothing. What are you doing?" And she said, "Well, I'm being held hostage by my wonderful son and family because I've flown out here from Vancouver to spend quality time with them, and but I've told them I haven't seen you, and maybe we could just get together for a quick coffee." Quick coffee. That's a euphemism for we'll never see her again. Anyway, they agreed. And so she came, and we had a reunion. And there are times in your life, and this is leading into Orville and the bike shop, I promise you. There are times in your life when you're talking to someone, you're doing something, you're in the middle of some event, some struggle, some action with someone, and you suddenly know, "Oh yeah, this, yeah, this." And there isn't even a word for what this means. It's just that it pings all the little high points. It resonates. It's you. It's you with no need for any filter. It is the thing you are, the thing you do perfectly. Flawed as hell, but for you, you're doing it and you're saying, "Oh yeah, oh yeah." We've all had that. We've all had some semblance of that. We've either known someone, we met them, and right off the bat, it's like a zzz thing, and or we do a thing. We have this knack for doing it. We don't know why or how. We eat something and we think, "Oh my God, this flavor." I was best friends with this flavor in several previous lives. I mean, there's just something about that. And the thing I noticed more than anything while we were talking um, is that she understood every single thing I was saying as though it was, of course. It wasn't, I see. No, it was right, right. And I never have those conversations. I come close. I have a couple of amazing friends, and I come really close. But but I never have all of the dots line up ever. And I said to her, "Are you noticing this?" And she said, "Yeah." And I said, "What is that?" And she said, we come from the same place. And I said, well, no, we don't. And she said, well, yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. We come from the same place. We have the same wiring. We have the same embedded logic. And we were incredibly similar to begin with. And then all of the training, all of the steps, all of the practicing, all of the honing. I was talking to her about our pivotry project. She got it. She got it faster than I could almost explain it. She said, oh yeah, and this and that. And I thought, all right then. I'll just go and wait in the other room. You talk amongst yourselves. It's rare that we have those moments. We are so lucky when we have them. We should clutch them to us and ride merrily off into the sunset and remember where we parked so we can go back and do it again. It is the most stabilizing. It is the most connecting. It is the most validating. Not people need to be heard. Of course we do. We need to be seen. We need to feel valued. We need to feel safe. We need to feel part of some kind of tribe. When you go into a shoe store, my analogy, and you put on a pair of shoes that you saw across the store, you go and you have them in this size, they bring it, you put it on, and it's like you have always worn them. It's like Cinderella when the prince brings the glass slipper. Oh, so comfortable. And I usually have a ham sandwich with this. It's so natural, so me. This is us. This is me. And I had not noticed that it was missing until there it was. And I thought, this is kind of what I'm talking about with Don't Sell the Bike Shop, Orville, that I was leaning into, and then I was so distracted, and again I apologize for not being 100% front and center. This is what multitasking looks like. And Eddie reached out to me and he said, do you mean don't quit your day job? Afterwards. And I said, no, it doesn't mean that. And it sounded like that. So I definitely have to fix that. And thank you. Don't sell the bike shop, for me, is a metaphor for don't ignore, don't throw away that original thing that you rock at. And the reason not to is because it is intrinsically an incredibly essential part of who you are. So, Orville and Wilbur Wright, who Kitty Hawk, the airplane, the joke, don't sell the bike shop, Orville. They had a bicycle shop, and they tinkered and futzed and banged and clanked and built an airplane. And great local foo-for-ah, and they took it to the field and they flew it. And and it crashed. And they fixed it and they flew it again. And they got a little further and it crashed. And so the joke is, don't sell the bike shop. However, my feeling is this: it was because they had a bike shop. It was because they knew they had these skills. It was because they said they must be transferable. Tinker, 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 crank, crank is the same thing, only bigger or smaller. Really? Maybe different tools. And that was part of their talk amongst themselves. We should give it a try. And they wound up a few local people to help them get the project itself off the ground. And why? Well, there was a massive mass excitement about Can Man Fly happening at that time all over the world. Europe, everywhere, North America, southern countries, all over the world. And I mean, there's a great comedy film called Those Magnificent Men and Their Flying Machines, and Around the World in 80 Days. Everyone wanted to know if we could fly. And what Orville and Wilbur Wright did was transfer skills from one platform, from one purpose to the next. They didn't say, sucks to be a bike shop. They kept that ability because that was their strength. That was the gold thread running through their fabric. And they used that to fast track, to leapfrog themselves into the next project. If you erase everything you've ever done and you start from zero, that's a slog and a half. Did you bump your head this morning? Because the most difficult challenge we overcome after fear, after what if terrible, yes, but what if good, yes, but what if terrible, and mom said stay under the bed, you're just like your uncle. After that, after the reluctance and the fear of uncertainty, the biggest challenge is how do we do it? I can see where I am and I can see where it is, and I have no idea. I have no idea how no clue. I can guess. What are the chances that I can get it wrong? Excellent chances. Great chances you can get it right. Lots of excellent chances to get it wrong. If you don't know how, if you don't know what tools you need, if you have no idea what you're good at. You know, if somebody said, how would you like to be in charge of cooking at summer camp? Actually, somebody did say that. And for another video, I have stories about that. And I can tell you right now, kind of as a teaser, as a, what do you call it when they give away the ending? Spoiler, yeah, spoiler. Even then, I was no Chef Gordon Ramsay. Even then, the words utmost damned astonishment were echoing in the minds and the hearts of everybody at that camp. Oh my God. I digress. How do we do what we do? How come we don't know? Aren't we standing right there? Yep, we are. We're standing right there. Are we not paying attention? Sure we are. But we're not anchoring what we're seeing in the thinking part of the brain. We're on observe. We're wondering if maybe there's going to be breakfast soon, or is the coffee still hot? We're there, but the wrong part of the brain is present with us. The brain we need is the subconscious brain, the primitive, million-year-old brain. We want that brain looking at this learning moment as a survival mechanism. Because let me tell you, if that looks like a survival mechanism, that brain is going to remember that till the end of everybody's time, because that's how it works. So this conversation that I'm having about pivotry and why this project matters so much to me, and what the challenge is that everyone is dealing with. Well, good morning. Engineers are the MacGyvers of scientists. Freddie Moore, you're absolutely right. Engineers are the MacGyvers of scientists. They're also a little linear. Good morning, Eddie. I'm talking about you. I'm talking about Orville and Wilbur Wright, but I'm also talking about you. So the idea that we have an ability to do something, if you're a secretary, what's your ability? Can you remember the lie you told to the person who wanted to talk to your boss? Can you remember why you told it? Can you remember which person you told it to? That's a superpower. Can you type? I could type 240 words a minute if you didn't care about spelling mistakes. I was a little slower if I had to be accurate. Was I on time? Almost always. Almost always. I was also almost always on time leaving at 5 o'clock. So I might have been slow coming in, but I was also slow to leave because I wanted to get my work done. Is that a superpower? No. Well, what was your superpower? I'm a detail freak. I'm a good continuity expert for stage shows and films and TV and any project. I notice stuff is missing. I remember without having to make a list the things we need to do. And that's a really helpful thing for a busy executive. What am I missing? You're missing this. Oh, right. And then do I also obsessively make lists? Well, of course, because I don't trust me. So my superpowers are clear in my mind, not because I'm smarter, hopefully not because I've been around longer than everybody else on the planet. I'm aware of them because I had to be aware of them as a military kid. My girlfriend Dale and I were talking about this on Tuesday. As a military kid, there are things you have to be ready for. My dad always used to say when we played tennis, stay on the balls of your feet. Keep the weight off your heels. Stay on the balls of your feet. Why? And so knees slightly flexed, weight on the balls of your feet. Why? So that you can move quickly into the moment, in the moment. If your weight is on the back and you're standing there chewing gum and saying, "Oh, look, it's a bird," you miss 80% of what's going on in your life because everything is fast. Everything happens. It may take a long time to come, but it happens fast. So what Dale and I, one of the many things we're sort of looking at each other saying, you too, we read well, we read people well, we read situations well. We've never really thought about why. We react well. And when somebody says, okay, go, we can. We may not have been ready to go before they said it, but the minute they say it, we say, got it. When I was told in no uncertain terms, back in February, that there were legal issues in that province about me staying in the house where I was living while the will was in probate. And I said, I'm sorry, pardon? And it was explained to me. I said, okay. And then I was still in a very, I don't want to say confused because I wasn't. I think it was more exhaustion, but I wasn't 100%. I was there and I was in the moment, but I was maybe 70% and I could feel it. Even in spite of that, I got in the car, I drove away. I parked the car in the driveway. I walked in, my girlfriend Kate was there and she said, what's happened? And I told her and I said, excuse me, but I have to make a phone call. And I called Carol, my friend, and I said, I need to come and I need to look for a place. And I need to do it in the next few days. And she said, okay. And then I hung up, talked to Kate. She agreed, also a brat. And she said, absolutely, let's go looking. Let's search. Let's see what is available. And I had literally found my plan B, my door number C in a week. In a week. Nobody does that. I did it. Not because I'm a genius, not because the hounds of hell were baying at my heels, because of my training. I'm ready. Even when I'm exhausted, I'm ready. And this was the thing that Dale, one of the million things we were talking about. Somehow that's wired in as us as a family member, as a family following the army. I wasn't a spouse. I was a child. I was a brat of the military. It is not up to me. It's not up to my tribe. It's not up to my alpha parent to make the decisions. It's the great invisible other who sends out the decree. And yes, Eddie, shift on the fly. I actually, before I got into a transport truck and they showed me how to shift on the fly, mentally, emotionally, strategically, I have been trained to shift on the fly. Then when I got in the truck and they said, and you do this, and I said, oh, cool. Oh yeah, okay, so this is totally me. And they were stunned. I couldn't do anything else well in the truck, like park, drive, back up, but I could shift. So this, and I know, I'm sorry, I'm roller coastering all over the place. Don't sell the bike shop, Orville. Don't drop the thing you are a star at because there's a shiny new something over there. Bring that, because that is your magic. That is your hidden power. That is your ability to shapeshift, to adapt, to turn just enough to bring out that other facet of your personality, like the gem you are, and own the moment. Because that other part of you, your bike shop, you have worked on your whole life. It is always going to be your door number C. Always, 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 always. If you never believe another thing I say, it is your door number 3. So Orville and Wilbur Wright's bike shop had 3 doors. This is door number 3. So when we are talking about, I'm not handling this well, when we are feeling overwhelmed, when we are feeling insecure, when we are feeling that what we thought we had in the palm of our hand isn't, that something unexpected comes along, and it not only smells and looks bad, it's in the way. And we just say, I can't. The thing is, this part of you, you may be right. This part may be overwhelmed, but there is a part of you that can and has and does effortlessly. And while this part of you can feel exhausted and tired and abandoned and alone and uncertain, that's okay. That part of you deserves a hug. It needs a hug. It's been doing a lot of heavy lifting lately. It needs a little help over here. And what we don't know is how we get from this to this. How do we do that? And the good thing is, it turns out, I know, it turns out I've always known. And when I talk to Dale, because I'm saying, okay, so you get this. What about this? Oh yeah. And one of the phrases that came out of that part of our conversation was this: when you see something broken, do you feel broken? Do you look at it and say, oh God, that's me? What we're doing is we're mirroring. And we do that to feel safe. That's a very primitive survival tactic. You know, if I look like all the others in the herd, maybe the cheetah won't single me out. So if we're all broken, I'm broken too. And I'm just going to stand in the middle of the herd so the cheetah will get one of the broken ones from the outside edge. And do we look at something broken and say, oh, you know what? I can fix that. Because that's another survival tactic too. That's looking at something that we have the skill to adapt and apply for our use. These are 2 very different sides to us. Both are alive and well and doing fine. The how we actually go through those steps, how we look broken, act broken, how do we do that? We're not aware. We're not aware because we're not going through it step by step. It's an exercise in improvisation. It's literally mirroring. And there is a technique, and I know it, and I'm not going to share it today because it takes a little more detail than that. And I wanted to keep this focus today on Orville and Wilbur and the bike shop and our magic. Okay. One of the things about looking at a thing broken and saying, we all know people who are really good at that. As Freddie said, engineers are the MacGyvers of scientists. Yes. So there are also strategists, and there are visionaries, there are creative people, there are influencers, there are enablers, there are the Peter Pans and the Pied Pipers of the world who galvanize people into wondering about their what ifs, their possibilities, the what's just over theirs. We are all gifted with those abilities. We don't necessarily have them come to us all at once. But I can tell you one thing that is part of the technique, and I'll say it twice so that it sinks in, because you're going to hear it the first time and then go, wait, what? So here it is. If you are looking at something broken, try your best to simply look at what is broken. Do not, if you can, prevent yourself from doing it. Do not start talking to yourself about that it's broken. Oh my God, look at that. Don't have the conversation. Don't try your very best to not go into the conscious brain having a conversation. And the reason I say that is because it's a distraction. The conscious brain is separating you from the moment in order to create a safe distance, to see the big picture, to fix it. That's not what needs to happen right now. What needs to happen right now is you look at the thing that's broken. You focus on the thing that's broken. Because while you focus on nothing but the thing that's broken, the subconscious brain will look for the survival solution that is already in its memory banks. And depending on your mood, depending on your energy, depending on the day, depending on all kinds of flavors going on around you, you will find yourself mirroring it or fixing it. As long as you don't try to analyze it and think it through, just let yourself, what is that? Be one with the broken thing. Be one with the solution. I don't care. Use those words if you like. Just don't overthink it. Because your knee-jerk survival mechanism is 99 and 44 and 100% going to give you what you need. If somebody runs out of a store directly in front of you crying, you will have a knee-jerk reaction. Your subconscious will have heard and felt and thought and sensed all kinds of things that are not conscious. And you will react in the moment. That's your hidden power. That's your superpower. You know the stories of the parent who sees their child trapped under a car that's going to crush them. And there's tons of stories. And the parent has managed, in spite of the absolute impossibility, they've lifted the car off the child. How? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Well, it's adrenaline. The parent may need to sit down for a minute after that. Might have pulled a muscle. No thinking. Simply cause and effect, right? Bang. That is part of, see a broken wine bottle, heaven forbid, knee-jerk reaction is to clean it up. Well, of course. Knee-jerk reaction is to make it safe for everyone around you. The knee-jerk reaction, because you're worried, concerned for safety and for long-term positivity, that everyone who has put their trust in you, because that is where you work, that you are not only making it clean, you are making it safe for them. For them. You are the keeper of the gate. And it's good to know that the keeper is not the kind of person who says, that's not my station. That's not my job. Someday, if you have the time, please explain the shoe collection. Freddie. Oh, Freddie. Freddie, I promise you I will do my level best. Freddie is looking, as we all are, at this image on the screen, and he's saying to himself, yeah, okay, I'm listening, but what's with the shoes? And I feel your pain. I do, Freddie. I feel your pain. So I want to talk to you about two things that are part of Don't Sell the Bike Shop Orville. I want to talk to you about fame. Fame is not celebrity status in the show business sense that we all think of. I mean, it is. But fame in the larger sense is what we are known for by various circles of people in whose ponds we occasionally leap, jump, dabble, swim, drown. How we are known, the labels people have. We belong to so many tribes now. You know, we have family, we have friends, we have neighbors, we have the different interests that we have and the groups we join who have similar interests. And so we are seen wearing many faces and many hats by many different people. Simultaneously, if we walk down the street and you see two people coming toward you and you say, I wonder how they know each other, because one of them belongs to the bowling league that you play with and the other one collects stamps just like you. And you say to yourself, how did that happen? Interestingly enough, when you join them, there's now three of you who have those overlapping ponds and puddles. In each one of our ponds, we are known for something. We are recognized as Abby the. And that allows us to catalog and compartmentalize the various people and what they mean to us in a very effective and easy to retrieve kind of way. And fame is that. Fame is what we're known for. So Fanaticon Ottawa, the lovely one-day event that I have been part of, this will be my fourth year now, is coming up on Sunday, the 13th of August. And it's at this sweet little convention center, pretty much in the center of Ottawa. And it starts at 10 o'clock on the Sunday morning and it ends at 5 o'clock. And we have a wonderful time. And it's a lot of collectibles and it's mostly locals. Although, you know, periodically we try and hoodwink people into coming from distant galaxies far, far away. So I have a booth given to me by the magnificent organizer, Lance Morin, because I am considered, well, he considers me Fanaticon mom because he used to watch You Can't Live on television. And so I am a celebrity there because of my status in the entertainment community. And I'm also a favorite of his. So I have a booth and the idea is that you come and, you know, we take pictures together and I sign autographs and whatnot. But then to be in keeping with everybody who has a booth and they sell collectibles, I like to try and find things that are in some way related to any of the shows that I've done. So the other day I'm always looking for something unusual. And last year I had a huge success. I found Care Bears Monopoly. So the Monopoly game that you've played, the Monopoly, okay. Think Monopoly, except instead of Mr. Moneybags and Boardwalk and Park Place and the hotel colors and the house colors and the little thingy bobs that you go around the board with and do not pass go, do not this. It's all Care Bears. It's a riot. It's all Care Bears. And it's perfect. It's made by the Monopoly people. It's brilliant. And people were going, oh my God. And I know, right? And so what I was doing, I voiced three of the original bears. I voiced Friend Bear and Wish Bear and Level Up Bear. So anywhere we could find them in the game, I was putting my initials or I was signing, because why not? You know, now you have an autographed board game. So what I found was a pack of playing cards, Care Bears playing cards. Bring this up. so that you can see it right there. Yeah. So it's legit, and it's made by Care Bear. Okay, so I saw it, and it's very small on the screen. You're squinting and trying to make it bigger. They arrived, and you know what's hysterical? There's 4 bears on the front, and 3 of them are mine. I voiced 3 of the original 6 bears. You know you're famous when they decide to put all your bears front and center. I went out to dinner last night with a bunch of my friends, and I said, so who's famous now? I'm holding up these cards, and they're all looking at me, moving their chairs slightly away. But the other idea that I had, and I was thinking about how to, thanks, Patrick, good morning. The other idea that I had that is all woven into Don't Sell the Bike Shop, Orville, and what is your superpower? So my superpower isn't mom. My superpower isn't the book fame. My superpower isn't the friend bear voice. It's not that. My superpower assists that. My real superpower is making a friend. My superpower is getting people out of that boat and into this one, because this is the party boat. And last year, I finally figured out how to make my booth action central, fun central. And what I did, and I for the life of me, I don't know why it took me so long. I wasn't facing the front, I guess. I was working so hard on the airplane, I forgot about the bike shop. That's what I did. That is exactly what I did. So the idea was like an anvil falling on my head. Bong. And I said to myself, for as long as I've been doing these live fan events, I have either the real lockers or I have a banner that has the image of the lockers on it. And I have all the memorabilia. But what I really bring is the opportunity for people, the minute they walk in the booth, to become famous with me. And I make such a lovely fun time of it. I say, well, if you're in my booth with me, you must be famous. And all famous people are divas, darling. So, and I'm wearing a feather boa. So which color do you want to wear? I'm thinking you're more the executive boa type. How about the black and white one? And they say, oh, yes, fabulous. And so they put the boa on. And then we get a picture taken. And they're all vamping and having a wonderful time. And by the way, that's a pivot that they don't even realize they did, because all I did was nudge them, and there they are. Last year, the pièces de résistance, the genius level aha that was handed out to me from the back by that guy who has all the ideas. I had 2 banners instead of 1. That was the first thing. I had the You Can't Do That banner, and I had a Care Bears banner, because I had known for a long time that there's an age gap. If you were this old when we did the Care Bears, you're a Care Bears fan. If you're that old, we were also doing You Can't Do That in the same time period as we were recording the Care Bears. If you were older, then you're a You Can't Do That fan. Sometimes if you had a little brother, sister, or an older brother or sister, you watched the other show, but it really didn't resonate with you. You're one or the other mostly. I had the 2 banners. When they came in and we did the whole diva darling and what color is your feather boa? Are you primarily Care Bears or You Can't Do That? And they would tell me, and I would say, walk this way, darling. And then I would hand them a Sharpie. And I said, so you're in my booth. That means you're famous. You're a diva because you're wearing the boa. And your favorite thing is this. And then I would say, can I have your autograph? And everybody went, what? And I had John Major, fabulous photographer John Major, with me. And he was saying, oh, hold that pose. Can I just get one more? And he had them. I was just being decorative at that point. He had them posing with the pen, looking at him, getting ready to sign. And then he had them signing, and he was behind them and over their shoulder and on the others. Wait, I just need 2 more, sounding exactly like paparazzi. And then we would do the third shot with me. But the first 2 or 3 shots were them in their moment. And when I was looking at the pictures after the event, we had, so this happened in August last year, and then all of a sudden everything turned upside down and rolled sideways down a steep incline and over a cliff beginning in the middle of September. So I really didn't have the time to focus my strategic and creative, what am I going to do with this? It's genius. It's brilliant. I love it. What am I going to do with that? Didn't have time. I didn't have time creatively. I certainly didn't have time in terms of hours in a day. But I've had time now. And I was looking at the pictures. And at one point between the August show and everything going to hell in a handcart, I had taken several of the pictures and I had made a montage. And I've posted it a couple of times on my Facebook page. And it's really cool because I basically look the same. I'm still wearing my boa, but everybody's different. And they're either signing or we're in front of, and you can see that it's a Care Bears wall, or you can see that it's You Can't Do That wall. And people are laughing and smiling, and the pictures are completely different all the time. It's not the same, me standing with the friend in front of the Eiffel Tower. There's so much variety and versatility. And I thought, this is awesome. This is a poster. This is, why would you come to my booth at FanaticCon? What's in it for you to have that moment? And the answer is those pictures. That's the answer. Those pictures. That is your 15 minutes of fame with me at FanaticCon. And I was looking at that and I said, is that a souvenir or what? Wow, what can I do with that? So I knew one thing for sure. And so I went over to my very trusty, very fabulous, I have never been disappointed, source for printing. I have 2 or 3 now. My original and my mainstay is Vistaprint. Oh my God, if you have never used them, they do incredible work and the prices are great. And the shipping is great. It's great. Zazzle is also amazing. Vistaprint, though, first love. So I have done this before. I put my face on a wonderful coffee mug, right? And I've created mouse pads. This is just for me, I haven't sold any of those. They're just me because I love, and that's all Matt Urquhart's work. So am I a fan? Yes. So I said to myself, well, look at this. So this is the mug. And it says, what does it say? It says, FanaticCon 3, which was last year. 50 minutes of fame. Love, Abby. That's the mug. That's the back side. Want to see the front side? Hi, guys. There you all are. That's just one montage picture. How many can I make? Oh my God. So I was dislocating my shoulder, patting myself on the back thing. And I was looking through all the things that they do now, because it's good to go back and see what new products, what new services, what they've, their creative people have said, hey, you know what we could do? And you know what it said? I mean, among the many other things that it said, you know what it said? It kind of leapt off the screen at me and kissed me on the nose, Bugs Bunny-like. Puzzles. And I said, let's go over and look at puzzles. So I don't have it yet because I just ordered it a few days ago. It'll be here soon, though. It is a 20-inch by 15-inch puzzle. 500 pieces. Of you. So anybody really who was a Care Bear can get Care Bear memorabilia and sign it. Anybody who is a Matt Urquhart fan can get Matt Urquhart artwork, memorabilia, and sign it. Anybody who was on You Can't Do That on television can get You Can't Do That. Can get You Can't Do That memorabilia, wristbands and whatnot, and sign them. How many people does it occur to create a souvenir of the moment we were all famous together? So far, nobody. So far, me. Tee hee. So when the puzzles arrive, if they arrive in the shortest amount of time, and I love them, I'm probably going to get some more because I know, imagine the lockers, but with each corresponding Care Bear color popping out of them. Okay, Patrick, go to your room. How the hell am I going to do that? It's a banner. I can't. Oh, wait. No. I may have an idea. I may have an idea. Oh, it's a good idea, Patrick. It's a crazy, crazy, crazy idea. And no, I'm not bringing the lockers. A, they take up all the space. And B, they weigh 11,000 pounds. Oh, God. But that's an interesting idea, Patrick. I may be able to affect that. How am I going to do it? Not sure. I know how I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it live at the show, and John Major is going to take pictures, and they will be part of the souvenir after the show. How about that? How about that? So there. See how much fun this is when you watch live and we can talk amongst ourselves? Incredible. So my superpower, my bike shop, is the ability to make a friend. I acquired that as a survival skill when I was a military child, transported, picked up, dropped into new worlds, new towns, new schools, new social groups, all the time. It felt, looking back at the time, it felt like every 15 minutes. It felt like every week I would come home, and I don't know if any of you read Calvin and Hobbes, the cartoon strip. He always looks nervous in case Hobbes is waiting to pounce on him when he comes home from school. I would come home and I would kind of look, because what I dreaded to see was not Hobbes, but a living room full of packing boxes. Because all too often, that is what would happen. I would come in and see them and think, oh. And then I would say, so I have to call the school and tell them I won't be in the school play that we open next week. Because the boxes are there because we're moving now. You know, it's not like a civilian move where you angst and plan and it takes months. When you get the moving orders, you're moving. You're gone. When we actually went to Europe, here's a thing. When we actually went to Europe, it wasn't our turn. My dad wasn't up for a shift. His senior was the one who was supposed to go, and so it was in the books, and they knew, because it was a significant change in a lot of very senior people at the base in France, and he had a heart attack. He wasn't going nowhere. So, tap, tap, Charlie, you're up. Well, we had just gone on our winter holidays. We had just come back, and we hadn't even properly unpacked our bathing suits and, getting the sand out of our shoes. And tap, tap, you're up. And as a result, we were transferred in the middle of the school year. We were transferred right after Christmas, which very, very seldom happens to a family with school-age children. They try to do it with the least amount of, interrupt. But he was scheduled, the other man was scheduled to go. And so somebody had to go, and it was us. So how long did we have to plan? Nothing. I came back from the holidays, and I basically said, I'm back and goodbye. And I think I was in school for a week, and then we were gone. We had just enough time to get all the shots. You're supposed to get them over the course of 2 weeks. We got all the shots the same day. And I mean, what are you bringing? Kind of doesn't matter. You're bringing your immediate stuff because the military is going to move you. The military is going to move all your stuff. And we were gone. So with that front and center ever present, and I was 15. Tough time. They're all tough, but 15 was tough. With that ever present in my mind, what I have become adept at doing without knowledge, conscious knowledge, is I'm very good at looking at a group of people, reading the group, and figuring out how to look like what they need to complete them. They're either broken, so I'm broken, or they need fixing and I'm the fixer. Or everybody's blue and I'm yellow and together we're green. You know, I have that acquired, wired in. And then Kelsey Vatican and see you in person. It's on my bucket list. Oh, Freddie. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, bring everybody. When I can do that thing I do, best time ever. Everybody has the best time ever. You know, when you get to see a close up of this, and you know what, after the show today, I'm going to post the actual picture on my Facebook page, and you look at everybody. You look at the expressions on their faces. Those were a bunch of shots taken throughout the day, and I have a ton of them because John, he said, here's 11 million pictures, and I'll go find them and post them. What's amazing is being able to message people and saying, check this out. Look in the lower left corner, and the replies I'm getting go, oh my God, it's me. Yeah. So there's the fun that keeps on funning, right? That's what I bring. And I have now done 4, 5, 6, 7. I've done 8 of these live fan events. And it occurred to me last year, the setup I needed. And it occurred to me last week what my superpower, give away, collectible, souvenir, hold the souvenir, pay the fee, get the picture, do the other thing, have the 47 photos in the BOA, blah, 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 blah. That is what it's like at my booth, wherever my booth may be. Care Bears? Sure. You can't do that? Absolutely. For better or for worse? Teddy Ruxpin? Absolutely. Fame? You want a copy? I'll sign it. The little kids book that I did, Patches and the Damsel Dragon? Vicariously? Unsuitable? You bet. When I republished Market Centrics, how to make your business incredibly irresistible? Absolutely. If you can hear that sound, I'll explain it to you in a second. I had not paid attention. Me, the one who's talking about poetry, I had not paid attention to the engine that turns the facets in me. I had not figured out what my mechanism is. I knew how I did it. I didn't recognize and have my aha moment what the trigger is that allows me. I know how, I know where I go, I know where it's stored. I knew all those things. But it was so big and right in front of me, I couldn't see it until I was inspired by reading Calvin and Hobbes. Don't sell the bike shop, Orville. Don't sell the original you short. Don't say, yeah, that was then, this is now. Then is always present in the now. Then is how we got here. Then is the essence. Was it difficult? Did you make mistakes? Did you do silly things? Okay, you're human. Those elements are important. Why are they important? You're going to see somebody else do something similarly ridiculously stupid. And you're going to say, just going to, just a word to the wise. I know you're going to do it anyway. I'm just going to warn you that there's a high probability that won't end well. I have this scar here I can show you. These things that we are, that we have developed, that we have grown. When somebody says you have to do more to be more, oh, really? Who are you? Did you drop something on your head this morning? We already are all the thing. We already be that all the time. When you say try harder, you don't know what you're saying. When you say chase the dream, no, the dream is inside us. We can't chase what lives here. We can shine a better light on it. We can move it from in that dark corner closer to the window. We can put a pretty cushion beside it, prop it up so that it looks taller and thinner, really. We already are. We already have. We already do. We're just not aware. We've forgotten what a good idea the bike shop was and how we use it every day, all the time, awake and asleep. So the message today, Art Prince or something, I think it's the or something, Patrick. He's talking about, can we get a Care Bear thing with it? Yeah. Leave it to me. Although if you have an idea, share it with the rest of it. The object of the conversation today, and I'm coming close on an hour, and I apologize, except that it was so short on Tuesday that we can kind of level it up. The object of the exercise today was to give you a fresh perspective on what I'm saying about our ability to remember where our happiness is, to remember where we put our joy down because the phone was ringing. You know how many times I just did it? I have no idea where this is. No idea. Most of the time. I'm walking around thinking, okay, where was I? There's only so many rooms in this apartment. Harder in the house, but it's 4 rooms. Stand there. What did I do last? Go in there. It is. It's sitting there. So, phone. So, our hidden power is our ability to be exactly what is needed in the moment, to own the moment. That is our hidden power. And when we say, okay, good morning, opportunity, and just focus on the opportunity, we automatically go and get the facet of us, the part of us, the version of us, the face of us, the angle of us, the skill of us that is needed to blend, to lead, to adapt, to apply, to own the moment. In the moment. We have it. We've forgotten. And that's why we're sad. We've forgotten. And that's why we feel discouraged. And on another level, we have been traumatized by something so deeply that we are fixated. We are really broken. We are fixated on that thing. Survival brain, I'm not a scientist, and I'm not trying to say that I understand what it is that goes wrong. I'm saying what I believe goes wrong because it feels like it resonates. The survival brain keeps us alive. The survival brain does it by handing out the tools we need and the tactics we need. The survival brain is based on fear-driven emotions: freeze, hide, fight, flee, comply. That's its job. It has another job, which is to repeat simple patterns and actions. It knows how to trigger the right hormone, the right ingredient to cause us to bleed, to cause us to heal, to cause us to feel hungry, to cause us to feel tired, to cause our breathing to increase so that we have panic. We are pushing the adrenalin so that we will run and we will have all that energy and all that momentum and all that inspiration. It knows how to do that. It also knows how to have us blink and to keep the blood flowing and breathe and do repetitive things. It can learn it. We can teach it how to drive the car for us so that we're not thinking about it every waking second. And quite often, I'm sure you've driven and you suddenly realized that your mind had wandered, but you're fine. But something had alerted you. The subconscious brain has said, I don't know what to do with this. Here, conscious brain says, shit. Okay. Until that moment, the subconscious brain was driving the car, turning the wheel, brake, gas, watching, doing it automatically because they're simple, repetitive actions and they save your life. That's what it knows how to do. On the downside, it also knows how to remember what was a danger. It knows how to remember the moment of the most extreme danger. If you were ever attacked by a dog or any animal, you never forget it. And you always have a moment. Your subconscious gives you that when you see a dog, any dog, a dog that big, a dog that big, doesn't matter. That brain says dog, and it brings back that danger moment for you. I'm right. You remember it. You see something that's adorable. It's safe. The subconscious brain says, oh yeah, safe, right? Except that the last time that small safe thing was in your hand, it bit you. So be careful. All those things. And you don't consciously think them, but you have the feeling of it. That's a subconscious brain. You see where I'm leading with PTSD? The traumatic moment that happens to us. We don't have to be on a battlefield. We don't have to be in a hospital. We don't have to be in the middle of a riot in a street where there's weapons and people yelling and imminent danger. We can be in a suddenly dangerous situation in a place we thought was safe. And we will never forget that moment of complete fear and solitude and aloneness and panic. And it comes back if it hit us hard when we were at our most vulnerable, when it not only scared us, it shocked us and surprised us. And it caused us to now double think, double check, second guess everything because we no longer trust our instincts. I think those are the ingredients. And I think it's a broken place. And I think it is not something that self-heals without a lot of help, without a lot of work. And for the person who is in it in the moment, and this can be depression, this can be one of those panic, it can be a shutdown, it can be a violent outburst. We are not able to do it alone. We aren't. We need help. And so the reason I bring this up, the reason I'm talking about pivotry and including this part of us is that when we feel exhausted and alone and unable just to do anything, any of our weak, broken parts are further compromised. The stronger we can feel, the more confident we can feel, the more connected and safe and loved and supported and surrounded and cherished we can feel. The deeper the healing breath we can take, the more welcoming we can be when something happens that makes us smile, that makes us feel happy. We can put down our defenses and experience it fully in the moment. The way I have been allowing myself to do in the last few weeks. I am safe. I am secure. I did what I was tasked with to the best of my ability. I did everything I could think of. I enlisted help. I made it as precious and joyous and memorable as I could. And now it's time for us. It's time for me to reuse my hidden power for us, for Pivotry. And I was having conversations 2.5 years ago, that I wanted to work with service dog agencies. I wanted to help people see how valuable they are to so many of us, not just for the blind. All the kinds of service dogs that are now being trained to assist people who are just overwhelmed, who have been diagnosed and are having a seriously difficult time coping, mingling, being out there among our tribes. We do need time alone. We all need time alone to recharge and rest and take the breath. We also need to be among our tribe. When I've been seeing my friends lately, reconnecting after all the years away, oh my gosh, it's like a tonic. It's just incredible. My visit with Dale, oh my God. Incredible. Just incredible to touch those two electrodes and watch zzz happen. Wow. My get together with my friends for dinner last night. Magic. It's long overdue for me doing this. And every single time I've done it, I have said, alrighty then. So this is Pivotry. This project of me showing you where the stones across the pond are, me showing you where your trigger mechanism is, me showing you how you've always done this thing you do, you just didn't know it. Me saying to you, which color do you want your feather boa? Because, darling, we're all famous for something. That's what this is about. So I know that a lot of you can't come to Fanaticon. I'm aware of that. We're going to be trying to do a few things. I don't know if we can manage streaming live during. I would love to. I think that would be killer. I'm going to try and find an opportunity during the show to have a Q&A, and I want to record that so that we can use clips of that. I think that'll be awesome. Most importantly, it is time for me to introduce this project to people in a much clearer and more focused way. And I can't wait, because I think it's a long time coming, and I think we all need it. So that was long. Wow, look what I did today. I did it because I wasn't finished on Tuesday. I needed to say all these things that I felt you needed to hear today. And I did. And I appreciate you for sticking with me and listening. And I appreciate you for coming back and listening again if there was something you wanted to say. What did she say? Good. I would like you to do a couple of things for me. I would like you to tell your friends. If you are enjoying this, tell them. It's an interesting phenomenon. So this platform that I'm using is called Restream. And what it allows me to do is broadcast simultaneously on Facebook and on YouTube. So that means two different groups of people are watching me at the same time. And I have just discovered, thanks to my great friend Billy, that YouTube has lowered the number of people it requires as your subscribers and followers and watchers in order for them to start thanking you and rewarding you for putting video on their platform. So until fairly recently, you had to have a minimum of 1,000 people. And now the minimum is only 500. So I haven't checked recently how many of you I have, and I'm going to have to take a look right after I finish. But the closer we can get to 500, the sooner we get that done. It means that when people watch, YouTube will send a little financial thank you my way, and it doesn't cost you a dime. And when YouTube sends me a little bit of something, it means that I can buy more fabulous things that I can personalize and share. There are more things that we can have in my merchandise store. And there are more opportunities and a farther reach and a wider impact of us collectively as this incredible tribe to spread the idea of pivotry and our hidden power, our hidden ability to be exactly who we want to be, need to be, to own the moment, in the moment, and feel that kind of, I'm walking here. And we all deserve that, right? Okay, I'm going to let you go. Thank you so much. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your fans, tell your family that this is a fun thing. Let them know about Fanaticon. And I'll have other news about other things that are coming up. Until I talk to you next week, it's going to be a busy time, and the temperature here is quite hot. So if you're in areas where the weather is unstable, please be careful. Please think ahead. You know, if you're going to be out, wear a hat. If it's going to be hot, bring something to cool you down. Be sensible. Why? Because we need you in the tribe. You matter to us. You're part of us. Seriously. Okay. Be good to you. In all the ways. You deserve it. And remember to hug your loved ones. And if you play your cards right, I'll have great souvenirs and merch that I'll try and figure out how to make available. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Mwah.